Hello. What are we at? We are at 29. Thank you all for tuning in for another installment of Tide Talk with John and Kenny.
Hola.
So today I'm just having some Gatorade because I'm thirsty. You ever have Gatorade where it sits long enough, like in the upright position, and all the color kind of goes down that way and you got to shake it?
That's called Powerade.
No, it does this. Gatorade does it.
I guess I never let Gatorade sit.
Yeah. But other than that, tastes fine. So if not, whatever. Make you a little sick.
That's probably what you would sound like.
I would assume so. Anyways, so we are back again from our last. Would you call it a show?
No.
It was. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of people there, sadly. Oh well, but we met some new people and whatnot. But no, we will be now officially releasing more digital content. So be aware and ready for that. Checking out our delightful YouTubes and Instagrams and all that other jazz. I know we haven't posted on the Instagram in a while. We should do a lot more
Does
posting.
yesterday count?
I don't know. Did we post yesterday?
I think so.
What did we post yesterday? I don't remember posting
I
yesterday.
don't know.
I didn't. I got some sun on the weekend because it has been nice. Hopefully everyone else has been enjoying that. Here in the Northwest Indiana, everyone else on the coast and whatnot, you could have that way more than us. So yeah, it was a hot 80s day on Saturday. You were at work though, weren't you?
Yeah. I worked all day Saturday.
Was it hot at your place of work?
No. AC was blowing.
That's good. I hate going into places where the AC is non-existent and then you just hate everything.
Or it's existent and the company's cheap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, where they don't even spend any money on anything anyways.
Nothing.
Yeah, and you're like, well,
Sir,
why
we
is
can't
it
see.
hot?
Well, lights cost, so. Sorry. Do your transactions in the dark.
So on a different note, since we're going on different equipment that we've been working on and whatnot, I have a question on that. If you wanted a full digital drum set, as in like was it Asus? Is that the one that's called?
I don't know the exact spelling, but
But anyways, where you actually literally have the ability to have like kickback and spring and even like the realistic cymbals, they can tell a different type you hit. Assuming you can get, let's say you get very high level samples, would you enjoy recording that way? Because I don't know, is this like with like Axe Effects and Kempers and all that? That technology's there to emulate amps.
you can technically get away with it. You can technically get away with it. Like when Sam gave us the idea of having drum triggers, but they were balanced with the acoustic kick anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially the same thing if a drummer was able to replicate exactly what he played on two separate drum sets.
Like let's say they had I don't know, yeah, like an Axe Effects or whatever. Is there that for drums?
It's about $4,000.
No, they do actually. Well, I mean, the thing we picked up was super expensive.
It
But
exists.
basically, it's equivalent, I would assume.
Yeah, it exists. The tech is definitely there.
Do people tour with that,
No.
or is it more like for like electronic and stuff like that music? Do they do
You
that,
would
or they
see-
just do for studio.
You still don't see you won't see a whole electronic kit ever because there's no like face appeal to that.
Yeah.
But you definitely get that technology used in pieces. I'll put it like that, in pieces. So you never see a whole electronic kick, but you'll see an acoustic drum set that's been integrated with electronic kits. Like you'll see a snare, and then right next to that is a drum pad, and that's actually a second snare that's gonna sound a little bit different, or it's gonna be, for instance, like a clap, like a hand clap or something like that. You see that all the time. You'll see a regular crash, and then you'll see an electronic kit style crash, and that's because it has this weird effect that the artist is looking for. Because 9 times out of 10, once you get up to that high level, you're actually playing with the track that was already recorded, and you're playing it live. So like a good example would be like Bruno Mars. Like Bruno Mars is an amazing live musician, right? He loves music, always will have a live band, but some of his elements that make his song great is completely electronic. That's something that was programmed. So if you can take that sample and put it on a drum pad, now you're just paying a drummer that's capable of doing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to watch a couple people do that. It's pretty cool.
So I've seen the attachments, like even the trigger heads, where it's just you just strike it.
Yeah.
where I've seen like they just have a couple of those and whatnot for drops or whatever it is like that. No, but that was just always something that was kind of interesting. I was like, I know, I was all against the whole digital kind of feel, and then went farther and decided to go down the Kemper route, and like that was totally worth it. Like you got to hear straight off. It sounds exactly like some of those like super expensive amps. But now they're at your disposal. So it's kind of like, well, like if you wanted some rare, even though they wouldn't make it, but like if you wanted some rare, I don't know, like ebony. Do they make ebony? I know in fretboards for guitars they do, but do they make ebony parts for drums? I feel like that'd be super hard to shape because it's petrified wood.
No, you don't.
Probably
You
just
won't
shatter.
see any ebony drum sets.
But like, yeah, if you wanted some weird like that, it was like a slate or ebony, like stuff that wouldn't ever be played. That would be interesting on drums. That's what I like about some of the digital stuff. But
I mean, you just get rid of the mechanical issues of having an amp. There's so many different things that can go wrong with acoustic things, period. You know what I mean? So there's
power
definitely
and cables, like
and then you can dumb that down and even control how much of buzz that you have via a knob.
mm-hmm.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
The
like how many
benefits
gates that I
outweigh-
ran that still didn't get rid of it, and then now the same amount of distortion I'm running, I run that just one knob gate and turn it up, done.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing the stuff that's out right now, especially things like Kempers, where, you're used to just turning on your amp and you get some buzz, right? Well, if I click a button and turn a knob to the left or to the right, I get that noise regardless if I've struck a chord or not. That is something that for a while people thought that would never ever be programmed. So
and
to
you're like,
speak.
oh, it would just sound digital anyways.
Yeah.
I can't freaking tell the difference.
But
and I've watched many reviews.
It's the same thing that with workstations and synthesizers. I've heard a grand piano live next to it far away. There's a certain timbre that comes with playing a grand piano, and then you can sit down in front of this digital workstation and type in grand piano, and then you have like 10 to 20 different varitions
in
of
different
that.
sizes of rooms.
Yeah.
And then like you could actually hear it, like even the more expensive ones, when they fully sample that stuff in and do it, you're like, well, this kind of doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell the difference.
But it's
Like even drums now, they even have that, like as bad as it sounds, they have auto-programmable drums, just like did that one Jared Dines video. He just hits play, it figures out what your rhythm is, and boom, takes over.
and essentially for a hot while, I definitely was that way as far as acoustic. I want everything acoustic. I want you to hear the natural sound of the drums, right? Okay, cool. Well, in the recording universe, natural sound equals bleed over. That's all that is. So 9 times out of 10, recording going in or even post, you're going to put a gate on it. You're going to put a noise gate on the drums because you need to hear the separation between each part of your instrument. So when you move over to the digital realm and you purchase a kit that just does it for you, it's all going to sound clean.
In the
It's all
industry.
going to sound clean.
Industry. What is that, number 3?
I think so.
I'm
trying to say it.
Anyone respond to how many times they've played the industry game? That'd be fantastic.
Another cool thing with the Asus, I don't know.
I don't know what Elasis. I don't know what it is.
There it
but
is. It's got an L
Elasis,
in it.
anyone
Yeah.
that knows about that, you know what we're talking about. And if you're not a musician, I guess I could put a link into their thing. They're not really a sponsorship, so I don't really want to do that.
But one that has a, I think it was like 2200 at GC, and each plug in has an out. So the back of the interface has, each tom going in, and then right underneath that you get the same amount that's going out. So technically you could record what you play into a DAW just that easy.
Well, it's like this fucking Kemper. Remember, I was like, well, apparently I have like 4 outs.
Yeah.
I was like, why is there so many outs? I was like, well, the opportunity's there for anything.
Yeah.
So, and half the shit I can't figure out. That's the only downside about some of the digital stuff. It's all programmed in, and then I got to figure out how to fucking work it.
And the crazy part is, it's like, for me personally, just now, like, dicking around with it whenever I go out. Oh, okay, cool. This stuff is pretty cool. Well, it's been out for like damn near a decade now. Like I'm
Yeah,
a
we didn't
decade
hop
behind when
on
it comes
that.
to shit like this.
Like you could dubstep,
Right.
which made me laugh. Which I'm gonna post that video I've got. I need to post it on the Instagram. Does a dubstep.
That is one universe that has adapted that, but it's basically you're still a stand up DJ. You're just doing it as a drummer.
I do give some. I mean, I'll give them some credit. Dubstep artists. I'm not authority on this either. Like some of them, like just if you're programming your own stuff and literally. See, like even that, like I don't know. Maybe I could be totally wrong. But watching some of the videos of like the Deadmau5, whatever his fucking name is, he's got like the whole wall to actually make his own effects. Which I was like, does he actually do that? Or does he have it? Like, the only one that I know it actually does is, like, your Chemical Brothers and Daft Punk. Like, they literally, I can't say this enough, that just amazes me how they do everything live.
Yeah.
It's not just push play. No. They're twisting a knob to get the right frequency, and then you've got, like, the right tremolo, and then you got whatever else you want to do on it.
All those things are just mind-blowing to do that in front of a live crowd, number one. Number two, it's just as tedious to do that when you're not in front of the live crowd, to create your own half-hour to an hour set digitally. You know what I mean? That, like, if I wanted to jump into EDM, I would have no clue what the fuck I'm doing or what buttons to press.
I mean, unless you're Ben. He's useless.
Yeah, unless you're Ben.
He just puts play and spins his discs.
But Ben don't do shit.
Yeah.
So
he's underground.
Haha.
I would like to do some weird variety show. What are you eating? I can hear that from all the way over here. Doritos? I hope it's not picking up. Sorry if it's picking up. Maddie's disrespectful of the podcast.
Jesus.
But I don't know. Are you picking up in your headphones?
Yeah, but my mic is extra loud in my ears, so I can hear I can hear myself breathing.
Okay, yeah, mine's pretty loud. I just was like, what is she eating? I just started noticing it. So I apologize ahead of time. If you don't hear what we're hearing, then good. Because maybe our headphones are just way loud. That's why I love Shure. No, they sponsorship, but they make good products. And I'm still, hands down, I am not regretting buying Kemper. They are nothing but, like, that's another thing. I like companies that have good customer service. Calling them, they're nothing but helpful. And they're based out of Germany, and I got that shit in 3 days.
Yeah,
I'm sure they had a thing.
German companies don't fuck around.
Dude, I got the product. I was like, this is heavy, and it's made well. I'm sure if the thing broke, it'd be a bitch to fix.
They don't fuck around at all.
But thank you, Kemper. I'll be posting many videos on that. So, of me trying to figure stuff out and people saying you're doing it wrong. I'm like, well, I didn't know. There's a lot of shit on there that's confusing. Same thing like if that drum dial didn't have. Can you imagine that your drum dial you picked up for your drums didn't have instructions?
I mean, it's pretty easy.
You still have to look at frequencies. Like, what if that wasn't there?
It's
Or not, what was it? Tension, isn't that what we're looking at?
It's just tension. It's just a measurement of tension. So essentially, you're matching a number to the sound that you like to hear. So
what if it's hot garbage? Is it like a 0?
No. It still has like
tension.
a relative number to what the drum shell puts out, right?
It was that. Now see, here's the other one too. We could always have other people on that, but for digital versus that. The one guy I work with, the one drum guy, he was using a digital one. And then I was like, well, I was told the actual physical, like, analog gauge is better.
Digital one will do the same. It's just gonna, like the one we picked up, it's just gonna give you a lot more information than you need, unless you're more than a drummer. Because if you're a drummer and you use a drum dial, you've essentially already established what you want your drums to sound like, right? So when you purchase the drum dial and you start using it, you've already 9 times out of 10 you've already tuned your drums before you bought the product, right? You like that sound, cool. It's the first thing you need to do with drum dial is just put it on the skin, and okay, you like this sound. Well, now you've matched your sound to a number, and each lug you tune to the same number, and then you get a holistic sound.
It made everything night and day. Like, being that I've been around the drums so much, like, I know Kenny's drums and shit, and then, like, even when I was playing on your drums, like, I know the difference. That was weird too. With a side note, just being around you and watching you do, and then hearing me play, I didn't sound like hot garbage, which confused the shit out of me. I was like, where the hell did this come from?
Because you just hear it.
Yeah, and then you're just used to the rhythms, and you could definitely hear even some of the fill, quote unquote. I don't do fills very well, but even that, they're very Kenny-esque. It's same thing when Sam was saying, like, when he was learning more and more from me, he's like, I'm playing like you. I was like, yeah, I mean, you're around it, and you pick up stuff.
That's what you gotta do. You're essentially a byproduct of whatever you ingest.
I still can't
You
do
are what
sweet
you eat.
fills. I can just do like very linear, like. I'll get there. My foot's not stupid and lazy
I mean,
anymore.
as soon as you figure that out, I'm gone.
And I was like, all right,
I'm not
I'll
needed
just, you
anymore.
just come in for
Appearances.
appearances and
I'm
just
just here
like
to shake hands
consultation. Like that sounds good, John. All right.
I'm just here to support John. Whatever John needs. Pick him up, drop him off. Pick him up after the show. Hey guys, yeah. No, I used to be in the band. Yeah,
He
but
just
no.
does everything now. No, I'm
John
good.
plays double bass, so
Yeah, fuck that. Drumming's no. That's just a whole other set of rhythmic stuff I'd have to learn many, many years. But other different note, we do plan on having in the future some of the members from Came Out Swinging, a buddy of ours, Steve. A little shout out to him. Heard Javier was wanting to be on that, and then anyone else that we've met in the past. What we actually might doing, which I was thinking about that, maybe physically going out to shows, or ever will I not just bring that if we have time now.
totally against it.
I'm down with that. That'd be interesting.
You
Do some
just
more
told
live
me
podcasts.
I would get to sit here for a long time, and then you just on the podcast like, hey, guess what? We're not sitting here anymore.
No, that's just a thought. I would like that. If you guys would like us to do that, vote on that to make Kenny do stuff. It's gonna be Operation Make Kenny Do Stuff. I was like, my mind's always working. Plus, we just have to sit there, which I mean, that's all I would do. I would
You
just
just
sit
have
there
to-
because this stuff's really easy to
Getting
operate.
up, getting in the car, bitching the whole way there.
I wouldn't be. No, it sounds like Kenny. He's bitching the whole way there. I have to sit up. No, you don't, Kenny. You just sit there. I'm sitting up. I don't know about this one.
I have to hold the mic.
Yeah, I was like, Kenny, I brought like 13 mics. I have to put my.
speak a certain way. I can't yell. Shit like
Yeah, you
that.
can. I'll just put a gate on you, dude.
Yeah.
It's just too much work. I just want to hit record.
If there is, I mean, there's not a lot of shows around this particular area. So
No, I won't be here. I would just find. We'll
It'd
just
be-
lie to
yeah.
people and be like, "Hey, we're with blah 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 media," and just walk in the backstage.
I don't know how true it is, but rumor has it there's a quote unquote venue opening up in Crown Point. Crown Point had an old school theater that had like the lights.
Yeah,
on
no, I know where it's
inside.
at. I used to go to movies there.
Yeah, apparently that's being reopened as a music venue / bar by
That'd be
the city of
interesting.
Crown Point.
That'd be kind of cool.
There's something 9 times out of 10,
check it
Crown
out.
Point was totally against live music unless it was like a country cover band.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that turns out.
But it's supposed to be really cool, and it
Hmm.
gives people something to do besides
Yeah,
go
I
to
mean,
the square
Yeah, and drink at the same bars over and over again.
with the same people over and over again.
Yeah, no.
But I will eat at that same cafe over and over again.
yeah, you're talking about the one we used to go to for the open mic?
No, the one that's across the street before you leave the square.
Oh, Crown Town. Yeah, there's actually a hot dog diner place next to it. I never went with you there enough, but I was going there a lot. Dude,
Next to it?
yeah, it's called Crown Town Cafe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, George, he did like a doc on it. His shout out to George, his media thing, Turtle Time TV. I'll make sure to mention you on that. But he's got yeah, he did a thing on them, and she's I think it's Deborah or Debbie or something like that. But that's where it started. You get like 2 Chicago dogs, fries, and a drink for like 5, 6, or it was reasonable.
They have the best cheesesteak sandwich I've ever had.
that one, or are you talking about the one next to Zodiac?
No, not the one next to Zodiac. I don't like that one. That one has shitty pizza.
I want to get pizza there. All I do is get chicken patty and breakfast. That's it.
That
Anyways, yeah.
it was basic. I thought you really
Yeah.
couldn't fuck up
Crown
the
Town
pizza
Cafe.
until I ate there, and then no.
I've had many different hot dogs there. That's fantastic. Plus, the owner's super, super nice.
Mm-hmm.
from
Anybody
the
that can
area.
tolerate drunk adults / teenagers at like 3 a.m. is the best human on the planet.
Oh, yeah. And if you could deal with our buddy Fat Tony, there you go.
Tiny hands.
Yeah. Tiny, tiny hands. But anywho, no, good stuff with that. And then, that's the other thing, too, that we were, a little common theme that we talked about, too, is just, it's always nice to go out to eat after shows. And especially if there's somewhere good to go. Did you like that Mexican place? Actually, I like that place.
Everything
I mean, it's-
tasted the same.
It's not the same as El Amigo. It's probably because we just like the place and the owner. But
yeah,
it's not a bad Mexican place. I was super happy with that.
it wasn't
And
bad.
dealt with their
I
bullshit.
ate somebody else's food.
Yeah, they
I don't-
definitely brought food out, and we're like, okay, and then it was good, dude. I'm telling you, I don't know why, but that steak burrito tasted like a baked potato. I think it was a sour cream. I was like, is this a bit? This tastes like a baked potato, to you, dude? He's like, no. I was like, I don't know. This tastes like a baked potato.
I really didn't. I wasn't.
You were
supposed-
definitely a little bit more not sober, so the
No,
food
I
might
was
taste
drunk as
different.
hell,
I
so
was
all that
not. I
food-
mean, I was sober.
all that food tasted the same.
Yeah.
I had a nice water bottle full of whiskey and just killed it.
I kept downing Sailor Jerry's with that one singer. He's like, hey, blah, 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 and just kept giving me
Mhm.
shots. People like us, I guess.
Mm.
That's a mistake. I don't like us.
I didn't do shit that day.
But yeah, that's the that's going out, meeting other people was always fun times. And then the main thing that I got out of that whole weekend or this whole weekend and whatnot was it sucks that no matter even if you do a lot of shows or you don't do a lot of shows, turnout always isn't the greatest, even if it's a big show anymore. I mean, like, you really, really have to be pretty big.
You're either
I feel
A-list
like.
or really not much because, for instance, it's just like celebrities. If you're an A-list celebrity, you get all the FaceTime, and then you could be a B or C-list celebrity and actually, like, have legitimate money, and people still don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Like-
what? I've done like 20 movies.
Like, a
You've
lot of
never
people don't know who
seen me
Bruce
in one?"
Campbell is.
Yeah.
And he's technically on A-list, but Bruce Campbell's fucking awesome. Cult classic. Well, no, there's a lot of even like Ron Perlman, cult figure.
Mhm.
I don't think a lot of people know who that is. Hellboy, Sons of
So
Anarchy.
it's- right. You got to say something that was like crazy.
You're like, oh
iconic.
yeah, I remember that. I was like, dude, Ron Perlman, he's freaking awesome. I saw him on one of the panels at one of those comic things out in Wisconsin. Dude was funny as hell.
Mhm.
Just relaxed, normal dude.
The same thing applies to bands.
Mm-hmm.
You could be you can actually be a legitimately signed touring band, making legitimate money from a nice label, and your turnout could still be shit because you're not at the you weren't featured on a festival or on the national act. It's the same thing.
Bruce Campbell, though, it sucks that he's not. That he did his last season of Evil Dead. I didn't get to watch the next 2 seasons, but that series on, I think it was HBO or Stars, either one of those. It's on Netflix, but it's pretty fucking good. If you liked Ash versus Evil Dead, that's basically it's just a continuation of that whole thing. It's freaking good. I don't know. Is there anything else good on Netflix that I haven't in a while? I watched Tom Segura special was good, and you know who's got I was telling you about that. The fuck's his name? Paul Blart, that actor.
Wow, why can't I think
Yeah,
of his name? I've watched like every
Kevin
movie.
James?
Yeah, thank you.
His special was good and it was clean. I was mad respect to
Okay,
it doesn't matter to me either way, but when you're clean and you make me laugh, that's pretty good.
it's really hard to have a clean special nowadays. And the last clean special I laughed at was Steve Harvey, but that's because it had to do with church, and I'm a church boy, so all those jokes had like all the merit in the world. But if you know what I mean, if you weren't
Mhm.
Southern Baptist or Church of God in Christ, you just wouldn't relate to that special at all.
I'm trying to think if there's another, because like Kevin James was a good one. I feel like I watched someone else before that and he was super clean and it was hilarious. I don't know, Netflix. Definitely Netflix has snatched up a lot of comedians. I don't know if that's like one big prevalent thing, like thanks to Joe Rogan or whoever the group is. Because I've been noticing. Have you noticed like there's so many comedy specials on Netflix?
No,
Yeah, dude, that's all I see.
I've seen more originals. Like I've seen an abundance of originals.
Oh yeah, there's definitely like Netflix presents and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I've seen like that, and then like a crap ton of comedic stuff. Like I didn't know it existed, and it's like
Mhm.
2018. Like I know generally, yeah, it's aimed towards if you've already been watching stuff.
Yeah,
But it's
Yeah.
all 2018 shit. I was like, wow, they did a lot of stuff.
but it's like we talked about
Chris
before.
Rock's got another one.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, I need to watch that.
It's like what we talked about before when they did the $2 upcharge. Everybody agreed to it, so you essentially have like a billion people giving you $10 a month every month. You have money to throw around at shit like this.
It's like that South Park episode where they just gave money to everyone. They're like, oh, okay, you have a Netflix special.
Right?
It's pretty hilarious. But yeah, no, that's the other thing too. Speaking, kind of going different tangents and segues off that. Need to for the year. I want to see what's the new or what's current for us at least per se. Metal areas. If anyone wants to drop a line on that too. I know the big surprise, like we talked about before, is like Houston, Denver, a lot of Texas spots. I guess in Michigan it's still going tried and true. Haven't been out there in a while though, or haven't really looked at stuff like that. I don't know. Have you seen anything like that, Kenny? I haven't
When I
seen any
did
trends.
when I had a little bit of time on my hands, I was doing some marketing
Because
research.
time is the enemy.
And yeah, when you search certain bands or certain hashtags around the United States, it's usually those areas you just mentioned that pop up with our style of music or anybody similar to it. As soon as you cross over, the demographic changes. It's weird. Well, not necessarily. I won't say weird. It's just what they're used to.
You know, I've even seen that too. Maybe, and that's even that. Maybe I'm a little out of the loop too again, because like all I do is listen to like the metal stations and rock stations. But even some of the newer bands coming out, I'm not like super impressed. And now pop, I don't even fucking know. Like I had to ask you what the fuck a Carly B was, and I had to explain. Had to have you explain to me what made her popular.
Oh, she was just a big booty stripper.
You know, I mean, we had a whole conversation. I'm like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is this? What am I listening to?
Cardi B is just a stripper that got lucky.
With like weird noises that she
was
makes.
it. And she had a gimmick. And she knows she has a gimmick. And she's okay with having a gimmick. You know what I mean?
I mean, kind of, it's like Gwar, though. I mean, I like Gwar. And all they are is one big stage gimmick, but they're freaking hilariously awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like that on and off stage. Is Carly B 24/7 like that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I support. I mean, if she's like a Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Ric Flair is Ric Flair 24. That's pretty cool.
All the time. She's nuts and making that weird ass noises and just blabbering at the mouth, and it conveniently is funny at times.
Is she like on things, or is that just her normal personality?
That was her normal personality when she was stripping,
Oh,
but she was stripping at the right place at the right time. Like there was a couple times where this one strip club in Miami was famous for.
I was gonna say, where is the number one strip place? Is it Miami? I thought it was like Atlanta. Is it Miami?
It's
I don't
Miami.
fucking know.
Yeah, it's Miami. A couple big name.
Is it like on the like that strip where like everyone you see with like the Cubans like
I
you see on
think
television?
I don't know the exact.
Like, isn't that where all the
location,
hot clubs are? That's how out of
But
everything.
that particular club was famous for damn near 6 months because you had people like 50 Cent going there and Floyd Mayweather, and it became like a who can throw the most money contest for 6 months, and it sort of just died out. And out of that, obviously, men being men, you gravitate towards certain women, certain style of women, and she picked up the attention of like a really big rap group who's now pretty big for like doing their own thing, like setting their own style. And one of the artists off of that group actually fell in love with her and like proposed to her and all this other shit. And that's where she came from. She was a big booty stripper.
Was she like, nah?
No, she said yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she said yeah. But that's where her financial backing came from. That's where her hookup to rap came from.
So we need to go marry a rapper? Is that what we need to do?
No, we need to strip first.
Oh, and then marry a rapper.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, you can't just, hey, you want to marry me? Yeah, sure. You're
Is there,
cute.
where's a strip club that hires average males?
Not around here.
You got to go to like Montana or like
Probably.
somewhere shitty.
It's probably some dumb.
We probably wouldn't do very well. Make it a sugar daddy, but mama, I don't know, either or. Daddy, mama, whatever.
But that's the history of Cardi B.
Look at that.
And she just had the personality to go with it.
Fucking gimmicks.
And it's like right place, right time. She wasn't, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, hats off to
she
her. I'm
wasn't
not
that
hating. I
bad.
didn't know what the fuck that was.
I was like, she's not that bad. Okay. I don't know who this bitch is, but she's not that bad. And she had a whole gimmick and personality to go with it, and she can be on Talk Time TV. You know what I mean?
yeah, she's basically on the main stuff, so she's
Yeah.
not like too raunchy or dirty, allegedly.
Exactly. And she's
So-
not all the way on one side.
I don't even know what her music sounds like. I'm going to have to look that up later.
And you're going to hate it.
I'm sure I will. I hate most modern music. So, I know there's some, but not a lot. I don't know. We've talked about that before, too, and it's the substance of music has been lack thereof.
It's the same 3 topics. Pussy,
Yeah.
money, weed. It's the same 3 topics.
Even
Just-
rock. Well, like, there's even some bands that I thought were going to be pretty awesome, and then they just fucking ate shit.
like
So
who?
either sold out, like, was that, I was talking to that guy about that. The Planet Burning Body? I think it's the Mexican guys. They were all about, like, the whole, like, Mexican and blah, blah life, and apparently I was talking with him, and, like, totally changed their face of, like, how they were or what stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Well, granted, they're making more money than we are, so I'm not hating. Just that was just one I could think
Just-
of
yeah.
as of top of my head. But, like, if Gore totally changed and became clean,
Right.
I'd be like, what?
Everything, yeah. Just to fit in or just to get a paycheck.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard too many new stuff on that, but maybe I just got bored with it. But I don't know if that's what theirs was. But was that Killswitch Engage when they got a Grammy? To me, I felt like they changed. Didn't they win a Grammy or just got nominated?
They got nominated.
And Mastodon, that's one of the few ones that
Yeah.
I feel like Mastodon's always been Mastodon.
Mastodon counts because they have old money. I honestly think that.
Like I've never heard like a bad era, or a bad era like where I heard like, oh, Mastodon's about to break up.
Nah.
They've been doing pretty well. And I know they worked out at Nashville and stuff like that, so it kind of helped. But anyways,
But
no, like
Killswitch, that sound definitely changed.
and
And
not
that
hating on
sound-
Jesse, I just definitely missed Howard. It's nice that Howard's coming back.
That sound changed after Jesse came back, which is why I'm a lot upset with it, because it felt like everything changed,
I mean, he was the original,
which is fine.
but yeah, when
But-
you listen to Howard for 10 years and he comes back, you're like,
He
oh.
came back, they did an album with him, and we were still okay with Killswitch Engage. And then the next one that they get nominated for was kind of kiss-assy.
Yeah, for me, I was just like, it just sounded like a typical metalcore. I really like Howard's new band. We talk about this left and right. That was it, Light the Torch.
Yeah, Light the Torch.
It's good. It's like what Howard wants. I mean, I don't know what their backing is, but it sounds like what Howard wants to do. But then like the band is in fully support of him. It doesn't sound like over technical or anything like that. I like it.
It's more laid back and chill. And
It sounds like they're
honestly,
having fun. That's what it sounds like to
yeah.
me.
And it sounds like getting old Howard Jones that still wants to make music.
Here's speaking of old. Do you know like there's a member in Doom, or just a couple of them? There's the member in Doom Borgir are like 40s and 50s.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot how long they were around. There's like even like Behemoth. That's what I'm hoping there's gonna be some big. It'd be great if it was us, right? Self promotion, but like some big. There's no huge. Like Sepultura's like I'm trying. What's the Korn? Maybe is the most recent, but I don't even consider them like the metal scene. Is there a big?
Is what, as far as like influencing the genre?
Well, not even that. That's gonna be like every like just big fucking like legendary like Children of Bodom for a while was
After Slipknot, because Slipknot.
yeah
hold
Slipknot
that
I think was the
titles.
last like big. You're like okay, that's
Slipknot
the metal
holds
scene.
the title to where the number of sales was automatically sold out all over the nation, all over the world.
Because-
Is there another band that's going to be close to that that's coming
I don't
out
know, I
or
haven't
is
heard it
already
yet.
out? Probably not.
Well, like even Lamb of God, they were hurting, but they were known around the world. It's the U.S. that
Yeah.
basically. But even that, like Behemoth just came out here. Lamb of God, Doom of Borgir's only got a couple of tours here
hmm
because everything else they're big on
But
is overseas.
you mentioned Slipknot, and
Yeah,
those
well, a lot of
doors
people
are
know what
sold.
Slipknot is.
Exactly.
So I mean, I will give them that.
So it'd be
I'm trying to
pretty.
think,
It'd
is
be
there-
that's some pretty big shoes to fill. You know what I mean?
or even Metallica. Like there's Megadeth, Metallica, Judas Priest. Like there's, I mean, I think it has to do with the music scene. It's just it's super digital. It's not as big on. Fuck, people know who Rammstein is. And it's weird, like people are like Rammstein, like I know who he is. I'm like, why do you know that over some other artists?
Well, when were they here in the last fall?
Chicago Open Air,
Yeah,
dude. People are like, that was fucking cool. I'm like, I knew about it
that day had more sales than the other 2 days.
because they knew it. There was going to be fire, and they won that talked. Well, not only it was actually the same thing, but they had last year. Sorry again to say them again because I've been wanting to see them. Behemoth, Lamb of God, and Slayer.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, that was like sold out instantly last
Mhm.
year for fucking open air. You fucking should have went. Damn it.
yeah. But I don't know. There's not a band that comes to mind that's gonna have the same star power as a Slipknot for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Slipknot could sell out a fucking football stadium.
Or there's someone here that we're just forgetting about,
That too.
but I can't off the top of my head. I feel like that's what it should be. Like right off the top of my head, I'm like, oh, this is it.
That
That's
has
the band.
that has the star power to be like, oh, they're definitely the next big thing. But when we say next big thing, we're talking they're gonna go all over.
Yeah, just
the
keep
planet.
going. It doesn't even have to be like a household name, but like one of those ones you're like, oh yeah, I know who those guys are. Like Gwar.
Yeah.
Not huge, but you know who they are. They're legendary. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, Gwar, yeah, I know who they are. But yeah, no. And if anyone else here comment if you think whoever's the next big thing, blah blah, et cetera, et cetera. But we're gonna wrap up here. But once again, thanks for listening to us. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, official TIT. Also on Facebook.com, Time Enemy. But yeah, check out our shit. We should be having new digital content coming out end of the month or beginning of next month. So yeah, enjoy and thanks for listening again. Anything else, Kenny?
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
You shall not